What is going on? Happy Friday. We are in here, as you can see, at Powerhouse Bayswater for some pool. We're gonna hit some pool today. So obviously this session normally would be at Doherty's City with SLDL. So we're doing the SLDL rotation today. Haven't done it in a couple of weeks purely because I haven't been at Doherty's City and we've been running the RDL session at Powerhouse. Decided to come across here. One main reason is because it's a good gym and I want to film. So doing this session today. So I'm going to start with the D-handle pull down, SLDL, and then we'll take you on for the rest of the session. So with that being said, let's get cracking.
I'll tell you what, the music's a little bit fucking loud for just after 8 AM. One more warm up. So I'm trying to focus on driving that elbow down into the hip, controlling the eccentrics on the way up, making sure that my scapula remains retracted and shoulder remains depressed. That way, keeping it on my lat as opposed to, engaging my trap or shoulder if I round it forward. Anyway, the first set, or the heaviest set that I'm going to do, so aiming for that 6 to 10 rep range and trying to get a bit of a contraction down the bottom. So I think I'm going to do 130 pounds. I've done this session or this D-handle pull down here before, and I know that I think I did 120 or 130 when looking back. So we're going to give that a whirl. Might have slightly overshot the loading there. I only got 5 reps, but felt a very good contraction. So I think we'll just do the right arm, obviously, and then I'll go obviously lighter for the back off and obviously aim for the 10 to 12 rep range. Okay, back off with the right arm. I suppose it's a good reason to reiterate why I like logbooking my training, etc. I did train here at Bayswater on SLDLs back in, I'm going to say April last year, March. There was a couple of sessions I did here. So I know in terms of bumpers, so normally at Doherty City I'll do 2 blue bumpers for the blocks. But here, because the bumpers are not as thick, I've done 2 20s and a 5 in between. This is actually the first session doing this rotation since AJ's prescribed the new training program and the new training block. Not that it's really changed this session per se since what I've done the block SLDL session. However, a few comments regarding the hip hinges that I'm performing. So the RDL is in the other session. Obviously I haven't done the RDL in Yonkers, probably since the garage gym session days, so 4 years ago circa. The initial thought with the RDL is to, get accustomed to the movement, actually build up the skill of doing an RDL. So I'd imagine that will progress quite nicely, but equally trying to make sure that I'm keeping it on the hamstring. And that's probably more a quote unquote controlled movement for me, or trying to do. Whereas the block SLDL has been prescribed a 4 to 6 repper, and the comments were just treat this as a rip the bar off the floor. So we'll see how we go. Obviously within reason. Alrighty, we've warmed up with 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates. Now we've got 210 loaded on the bar. We've got some chalk
time to get our fucking nut on, get some good tunes pumping. What kind of vibe we're feeling? Is it Linkin Park live? Probably. One step closer, live. Belter. Oh. Just watch that clip back on my phone, which is filmed on a different angle, so I can sort of see how my hips and upper back moving. That was definitely a bit of a grip and rip set. Obviously things to factor in, the fact that I haven't pulled anything over 200 in quite a while. I say quite a while, probably been since before I left for Boston. Anyway, it's been a while. So just before Christmas, I did do 200 for 7. Quite conservative at Dolly City, so obviously in normal environment, etc. So that was 210 for 6. As I said, a bit of a grip and rip mentality on that one. You may not be able to see from the camera angle that I filmed, but there was a bit of upper back rounding towards the end of the set. But to be honest, I felt like one of my mantras with that is it doesn't have to remain, 100% locked in and controlled. I feel safe in the movement. It's not as if I feel like I'm about to snap my lower back up. I'm also in probably still slightly compromised position given the post-prep. Like tomorrow will be 6 weeks post-prep. So as long as I'm feeling locked in and safe, I have no issues. So happy with that. I'm keen to run this back up and hopefully touch 220 at some point. 230, 240, who knows? The world is my oyster. All right, transition into the dumbbell row. Performed unilaterally, so the good old single arm dumbbell row, of which I did once a couple of weeks ago at Doherty City when I was doing a devolume session just prior to Christmas, and I think I did the 52 and a halves for 9. So I've got, unfortunately, pound dumbbells here. So I've got the 135s, which I think is 61.2 kilos. Aim is to be in sort of the 6 to 8, 6 to 10 rep range with solid control and all of that. So it's funny, like I haven't done these dumbbell rows consistently for a number of years. And I see videos of myself back in the day doing, slinging around the 70s at the good old Derrim at Thomastown. Shout out if you remember those days. Let's do the right arm and give it a whirl. Alright, so I've done both arms. On the top set, I got 8 reps, both arms. Obviously you can see there's room for execution improvement in terms of making sure I get my hips back, as well as driving that elbow right up into the hip and controlling the eccentric and not just dumping it down. Anyway, just something to work through. That was the 60s or 61s, whatever you want to call it. Now back off, I've done the right arm for 10 reps with the 110s, which is 49.89 kilos. So anyway, let's do the left arm and yeah, focus on those execution cues that I just noted. The first set is probably more so a bit of a, just get the weight moving generally. This back off is really making sure that I'm at points holding in that stretch and really stretching out that lat. Like if you're standing there holding a 50 kilo dumbbell through your lat, it's going to be putting some decent tension through your lat, that's for sure.
The left arm's definitely weaker than the right. So I think I'll make a note, my logbook, to start with the left arm for the right arm. So this would ordinarily be the hammer strength low row. Obviously don't have that here, but I got the Arsenal low row, which I've done before. When I've done it before, I've done 3 plates, which is similar loading to the hammer strength low row. So I got 2 plates loaded. Yeah, making sure I get set up right. Then we'll see if 3 plates is on the agenda. Yep, I reckon 3's on the agenda. To the final back movement of the session. We've got a rope pullover with the Vulcan rope. So we'll go moderately heavy. We'll start the loading on these new tech cables. I'm not quite sure what loading I want. I'll just do a warm up and see how we go. I'm just doing the 1 set. A nice big stretch. Likely spend, a 1 count there in the stretch, and have a good contraction. Keep the hips back, arms relatively straight. Bit of a finisher for the back lats. Alright, that's the back portion of the workout done. We're onto biceps now. We're starting with a dumbbell single arm preacher curl. So I did test these out when I was doing this session as D-volume at Doherty City a couple of weeks ago, just before Christmas, and I really enjoyed it. Got a good contraction out of it. Honestly, it was one of those movements that dumbbell bicep work that I probably wouldn't do during a prep or towards the back end of a prep, particularly if your joints feeling a bit rough. But now they're sort of lubed up a little bit more. So yeah, we're gonna give it a whirl. I've done a warm-up set with the 25 pounds, which is 11.5 kilos. Now I've got the 35s, so I'll do that, which I think that's 15.89 kilos. So 16 kilos, give or take, for the right arm to start with. Obviously, with the limited availability of kit when we're training in the garage at home, I'd actually do a lot of dumbbell preacher curls on the bench, which felt really good. So if you can get a good stretch out of this, push those hips back, really get your underarm wedged into the pad. Really hang at the bottom. There's a couple here pushing around a pram with their child in it. Very wholesome. Wonder if that'll be Olivia and I at one point. Anyway, rope hammer curls. The aim is just to move the weight, not necessarily get a huge contraction and get a pump. I actually honestly think that because I've been consistently doing the rope hammer curl for the better part of 2.5 years with some decent loading, it's definitely built up my forearms, strength through my elbows, joint area as well. So I think it's a good, I don't use the term lubricator, but anecdotally it's felt very good in my joints and probably meant that I haven't really had any joint issues. But anyway, I've done a warm-up set for 15 reps. It's got a bit heavier and just get a pump. Alright, onto the rear delt fly to round out the session. Sort of a slight reset in terms of execution on these post-prep. Shoulder's feeling good. I was having slight niggles with my right shoulder. I couldn't go too heavy on this, but equally reset of execution such that I'm not getting excessive range, aka not wanting to bring my traps like upper mid back into it. It's mostly just rear delts, so trying to keep a relatively loose grip on the handles and almost come such that my arms don't come behind my body. I might actually go heavier on the last set or third set. I know why that felt light. It's because I didn't actually increase the load from the first set. Anyway, got a good contraction regardless. Alrighty, that is a wrap for pull here at Powerhouse Bayswater today. And it's only 20 past 10. What a treat. Get to enjoy the rest of the day, despite the 30-40 minute drive home, but should be home to devour my post-workout right in time to watch the cricket. Anyway, that's been the session. Really good session across the board in terms of the block SLDL, the dumbbell row, the big main compound movements of the day. This just started the off season. Plenty of more exciting training clips to come. So if you wouldn't mind commenting down below, let me know what you want to see in this off season. I'll be documenting a bunch of my training because that's the exciting part. That's the cool stuff. Less so the physique updates at this point. That'll come next time I step on stage. But with that being said, if you like the video, please like the video, please comment, please subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.